You have Tesla, where the CEO comes out and says, we're totally going to make the targets, and then, constantly misses that, and investors reward the company for the most part. Make sense of investor behavior for us when it comes to the car companies.
Well, there's investor behavior with the car companies, and there's investor behavior with Tesla. So
Yeah.
the mainstream car companies sort of, they're kind of, I would say, in the eyes of investors, they're bad news until proven otherwise, right? Everybody kind of thinks this is peak auto, and you've kind of seen the best that we're going to see in terms of vehicle sales in the U.S. and profits. It's all downhill from here. So even if we have months where things hold up, the market doesn't really believe we're going to see a lot of growth in earnings. Where you have seen a bump in auto stocks, like take General Motors, is when you have any kind of news about autonomous vehicles or mobility. They got a big bump when SoftBank said they were investing a couple $1 billion in GM Cruise, which is the autonomous car unit. But the core business is not really loved. So anytime there's bad news or the hint of bad news or anyone pulling back on estimates, they're going to get hit because investors just don't see it as a hot segment. Tesla's a different animal because hope springs eternal with the bulls and the long holders. They believe in Elon, they believe in the technology, they believe in the company, and they will keep doubling down and keep that stock afloat unless there's some really bad sign, and they just think that the train's going to keep going. And so far, the bears, the shorts, like David Einhorn, have gotten burned trying to time a bet against the company.
Yeah, I'm looking at shorts right now, and they have come down off of their recent peaks, David. We're still at about 27% open interest is shorted at the moment in Tesla. But what are we expecting from the actual analyst call? This is almost what I'm going to be most excited about after he called analysts boneheaded this time in May. I mean, do you think he'll be a little bit more sensitive to analysts this time round?
One would think that maybe he learned from the beating they took in the shares after his last outburst on the first quarter call. They're sort of hinting that maybe he is going to handle it differently this time. But this is a guy who tweets sort of in the same vein as Donald Trump. And can he exercise discipline on a call more so than he does on Twitter? That remains to be seen. I'm not really sure that if someone asks a question that he hates, he's going to be able to sit back and not address it in a prickly way the way he did last quarter.